Boom, and welcome to the Big Honker Podcast, brought to you by MLR Graphics out of Breckenridge, Texas. I'm Jeff Stanfield with the world-famous Andy Shaver.
I'm here. Another day. Another hot day. It's an Indian summer.
Fucking
ain't
Indian.
Ever going to cool off.
They're Indian. They're talking fucking New Delhi Indians because it's a hot son of a bitch in India and it's a hot son of a bitch here, and I'm fucking sick and tired of it.
I don't know that it's cool anywhere in the nation right now.
No, and there's no one to call him bitch at about it.
No, there's not.
I mean, it's just, it is what it is, but it is a hot, miserable sumbitch, and it has been that way for a long time, since about June.
Yeah.
I'm tired of it. I'm ready to wear a hoodie. I'm ready for some cool weather. With us today, from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, the only true red state in the country where every county voted for Trump, Mr. Brad Albeck. Brad, how are you doing, sir?
Dandy, fellas, how y'all been?
It is. It feels like summer, but we're in hunting season now.
Yeah, it's almost October. 10 days from now, me and Andy will be getting on a jet airliner to go to Canada, and we're going to have to wear jackets and bibs and everything, I hope.
Fuck, it better cool off.
So it's crazy. So Brad, you are now recently retired from your regular job, right?
Yeah, I gave it up about a month ago.
What was your regular job?
I used to sell Yamahas and candy.
Oh, okay.
And Shawnee.
I gotcha. How was what's the market been like on that? Has it kind of been up and down with the economy?
Well, I mean, after the COVID deal, I mean, they cleaned us out. It was tough to get product and units, and there's still a 6-month waiting list on a lot of those units.
Now, what is the three-wheeled thing? Is that called a Spider? Is that a Can-Am product?
Yes, it is. 2 wheels in front, 1 in the back.
Now, I'm going to piss some people off, but I do it just about every episode. That is not a real manly vehicle.
Why?
I just don't. You see, when I think of a manly vehicle, I think of a motherfucker on a Harley Davidson with a big vest and stuff on.
Yeah, but it gives you a little bit more riding time. Yeah. I mean, we're all not getting any younger. Our knees aren't getting stronger. They have cruise control. They're a great ride. They got the radio, power windshield, heated grips, heated seats, and it's under $30,000, which, like your Harley Davidson trike, is $40,000 to $50,000.
But it's a car, isn't it? More.
No, you're thinking of a Slingshot. That's a car by Polaris.
So the Spider is an actual motorcycle still.
3-wheel. Where the Slingshot is a 2-seat car, shifter, steering wheel, like a Batmobile with tire.
That's what you're
off.
thinking of right there, Jeff.
Okay, well I see. I went to high school with a couple of guys and girls, and they do that, and they love it. They take their wives on trips everywhere and shit. And I always thought, well, fuck, why don't you just buy you a sports car?
Well, hell, I mean, they got reverse, and it's a paddle shift. It's a pretty good unit.
That's the Spider.
Okay. Now, what is the whatever happened? Did they completely phase out the old World War II Harley with the little buggy on the side?
Yeah, the carts. Yeah, pretty much those side carts.
They're still legal though, right? You just can't hardly find them anywhere.
Yeah. It's just a little sketchy when you make a turn to the left or the right. It kind of wants to come. You
gotta pay attention if you got a fat ass or a light person in that sidecar when you're turning.
Coming in hot is a new turn. Yeah, we definitely get you going.
I would pay big money to watch Matt and Brian Sullivan ride around in one of them together.
Yeah,
I would too.
Especially if Matt was riding.
And have them go across the cornfields of southern Illinois to the pits. Morning.
Matt's looking good. I saw a picture of Matt. Like
Matt's lost a shitload of weight.
Lost a shitload of weight. Like he looks. No shit. He looks 15, 20 years younger.
Yeah, he looks good. His wife's lost some weight too. I shouldn't
Yeah.
probably said that.
They're a power couple now.
They're a power couple.
Power couple now. And where does he live?
Marion or Jackson, Missouri, I think.
Yeah.
Matt's going to listen to this. Matt, you've been going to send me something for 3 years from my collection. I'm still waiting here, son.
Yeah,
so
Matt texted me right before Squad Fest, and he was like, "Hey, I got some stuff for the boss. I got stuff for El Jefe. I'm going to bring it to you." I'm still waiting on that to come up to me at Squad Fest.
Yeah, he ain't showing up yet.
The check's in the mail.
Checks in the mail. Checks in the mail, and the shop's closed.
And that fucker goes to Disney World like 3 times a year. I haven't lost anything at Disney. I can't imagine just keep going back.
I've never been.
I think we've been 4 or 5 times, and I would take my grandkids maybe again one day, but I really hope I don't ever have to. It's just an ass kicking. That's a bunch of freaking people.
It's hot.
I just don't do crowds anymore.
Well, that's a big ass crowd.
I've been, grown up south of Detroit in the small town of Adrian, and then I was in Atlanta, in Marietta, running a nightclub with my uncle for a couple of years, and crowds just don't interest me.
So you ran a club in Atlanta, Georgia.
Marietta, Kennesaw.
Is that basically Atlanta though? I don't know the Atlanta area real well.
North Atlanta.
I've never been to a place in Atlanta that I felt safe ever.
It was about 45 minutes north of downtown Atlanta, right up on 75. Kennesaw was known for their big battlefield. They had a mountain, and the Confederates got up on the mountain and shot the cannons down on the Union. And it's a historic battlefield, and it was real close to Marietta, Georgia.
I'd like to see that.
Like 10 miles.
I would love to see Stone Mountain, Georgia. I would love to see that before they blow it up.
Yeah.
Why would they blow it up?
Because the fucking woke pussies are in this country. They tear away all kinds of history.
Confederate statue or something?
Yeah.
Didn't they have a laser show at Stone Mountain?
I don't know. I've never been, but that's one thing I would like to go. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't want to go within 100 miles of fucking Atlanta. And man, I've got to fly into it next Sunday. But I just do not.
Bring your track shoes.
We've got a pretty good layover, I think, there.
Bring your track shoes,
it's the biggest.
baby.
Is it the biggest or the busiest airport? It's one of the two.
I think it's both.
Or both.
You get on these little subways and hang on, because when that takes off, he'll put you back on the back glass.
I'm not worried.
I'm serious. When that door closes, those sons of bitches are off to the races.
We've got a 2 or 3 hour layover, I think, there. But what scares me,
we'll make it.
What scares me is it's our next trip. We have a layover in Chicago that's in 55 minutes.
Oh fuck!
Yeah,
there's no way we're making that.
That's got me worried already.
Way. You got to have at least an hour and a half.
Well, we got 55 minutes both ways.
Fuck. We're stuck.
Why do they put you on layovers on the bullshit airports that you don't want to stay?
Oh.
But the ones that you want to go look around in, they give you 55 minutes and you run gate to gate.
I'm leaving your fat ass too, by the way, Jeff. So you better get some tennis shoes, because I'm running.
Hold me a seat. Well, you're gonna be holding seats for me and Tony both, because we're gonna be the anchors in the back. I may be taking one of those little courtesy cars. You see the guy driving and honking at people. We may be riding along.
Yeah. Tell them that you got a bad leg or something.
I could trip like in the door to where they can't close the door, like act like I pull a hammy and can't get up or something. We'll get you on the plane somehow.
But we do have a 55. We have a good layover in Toronto later on in the month, and I think it's a pretty long, like 5-hour layover. And I think me and Andy are going to leave there and go meet a buddy of ours and have dinner and stuff, which I'd like to do. I've never been in Toronto. I'm sure
I've been there.
Is it nice?
Yes, Toronto is. But don't drive. They're driving downtown Toronto is just take the train.
Really? Do that?
Yeah, or Uber it. They like to play the game of driving on the 401 and then slamming on the brakes and get rear-ended and lawsuits and stuff like that.
We ain't driving. We may be riding, but we ain't driving. I can guarantee that. Yeah. What is the now you sold motorcycles. Did you sell the Rice Rockets also?
Yeah. R6s, R1s, R3s.
What's the fastest production motorcycle there is?
What's that mean?
The one, how fast it goes.
For Yamaha would be the R1M.
What's it go? How fast do they go?
Well, they can only get a 180 mile per hour tire, so they govern it to 180.
Fuck that.
In first gear, to red line. It has 5 gears. So the first gear you didn't have to shift until 99 miles per hour.
My ass would have never been in second gear. I'd have never been in second gear.
Yeah.
Now, did you ride bikes also?
Yeah. Well, everybody says, you ride. I said, to the front door to the back every day, about 50 times a day.
But you never.
I'm really good at.
You never did the long road trips on a motorcycle or anything.
I wrecked 2 of them when I was younger, and I always said I'm not going to do 3. And they were both sport bikes.
Were they bad wrecks?
But,
damage you? Beat you up any, or just?
Yeah, sliding. Just no broken bones, but a lot of road rash.
That's the thing about a motorcycle is you have a bad one, and you might not have a second one.
Well, it's that term, take a ice cube and slide it across a hot griddle. Yeah, when you go down on a bike, you're in the matrix. I was on my knees. I didn't have any protective gear. I had a can of Skull Mint in my back pocket, and it wore down to the lid. That's what saved my ass cheeks. My knees were shredded. The tops of my feet, this was so long ago. I had Air Jordans. That's how long ago it was. Just shredded them. And I always tell everybody in the showroom, I said, there's 2 kinds of riders: those that have been down, those that are going down. And just prepare for the slide. Don't prepare for the ride.
I like that.
I've never been a motorcycle guy because, first of all, I grew up, my dad was a fireman, and all I ever heard was called murder cycles because he'd been to one of his first calls he ever made, a guy got his leg thrown off on top of a building. He had to go get the guy's leg off a building. And so Dad, from when I was little, I was scared to death of motorcycles because that's all I ever heard about. I like to drive fast. So by God, if I got me a fucking motorcycle, I'm going to see how fast I can go. And I'm going to get scared. I bought Michelle a Cadillac sports car a couple years ago. And I think I got it up to 134 or 138 and it scared me. And that's all I needed. That was enough. And I'll never do nothing like that again.
But Jeff, it was probably so smooth like those sport bikes. You take off and you think you're doing 50 and you're doing 120. Wow. I'm sure that Cadillac, you thought you were doing 60 and you were doing 130.
It sucked it right down to the ground. It was as smooth as could be.
Oh, yeah.
But it scared me because I thought, fucking a blowout of this son bitch, I'm done.
Yeah. Or deer,
in my mind, I realized that I had a wreck the other day. I was going about 80 and I had 55 and I had an accident and I totaled Tony's truck the other night.
You were in Oklahoma though. What's the speed limit?
Well, I was going 55. 75. We'll just say I was going. It was a bad wreck.
Jeff's got a court date coming up.
We were very, very lucky. Very lucky we didn't get hurt bad, but it scared the shit out of me. But after that, I have realized every time I've gone fast again, I thought, fuck, boy, if it starts sliding, it's a long way to slowing them suckers down. I can't imagine a motorcycle where I'm relying on a skull can to keep my ass cheeks on me. That's scary.
And then I told him, I said, then you start slowing down, and then you start seeing black, blue, black, blue, black, blue. I was like, you know what that is? They're like, what? I said, that's a black asphalt and a blue sky because now you start tumbling.
Oh, fuck.
And then
shit. We had one of Jeff's friends had a motorcycle accident. He went through 5 strands of barbed wire.
Yep.
Broke both of his arms. And he couldn't. He got up and he couldn't take his helmet off because his arms were broken. He was coming back from Munster Fest?
From German Fest in Munster, Texas, and passed out. Finally, just collapsed on the side of the road, and someone stopped. The best part of this whole story is his ass couldn't take a shower, and his mom had to shower him. Now he's 21 years old, and we're 21. What do you think we fucked with him about all the time? His mama having to scrub on his balls. And we fucked with him for a long time, but yeah, he was completely broke all the bones in both arms.
Oh my God!
And he's lucky to be alive. He's really lucky. But it's
I always hope if I do break my arm, it's only one.
Oh, it was both of them. But we had so much fun fucking with him though for a longest time over that. But he was very fortunate that it didn't kill him. But he had a helmet on, and that might have saved his life.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't take his head off. Cut him in the teeth.
He's lucky, but went right through a 5-strand barbed wire fence. And then nobody fucking stopped until he was collapsed on the road. And he was passing a car. A car was passing a car about the time he started to pass that car. So 3 of them were in the same lane, and he went through the deal, and the people didn't even stop to check on him. And that surprises me.
Today's society. That's today's society. They don't want the liability.
Yeah, me and Tony in our wreck the other night, we took out 20 of the little poles on the interstate, the turnpike in between Lawton and Wichita Falls. We took out 20 of them. It shot us across the fucking highway into the ditch. There's truck parts left all over the fucking highway. And today, until we called 911, nobody fucking stopped to see if we were okay or if we needed anything. Nobody. I stop all the time if I see somebody needing something. Not one fucking person.
Yeah. How loud were y'all screaming when you were doing that? Cutting through the poles.
It was slow motion. All I remember saying is, "Oh, this is gonna fucking hurt."
And everything bad in my life has been in slow motion.
Oof. It was slow.
Why?
I don't know, but what scared me the most was when it kicked me back on the highway. Was I was worried about someone was going to T-bone us. But it
or doing with somebody.
But it kicked us all the way into the next fucking ditch. That hurt worse than hitting the first thing, I think. But it is what it is. So this bike that goes 180 miles an hour. I had a friend up here hunting with me the other day, and he used to run bikes all the time. He used to run from cops. And he said he finally got a ticket, and it said it scared him because he couldn't stop. His bike it was going too fast. And he said he never rode a bike. He sold his bike the next week. And he told the cop got on his ass. They clocked him at 185 or 187 or something. And the cop asked him, he said, "I'll tell you what, I'll make you a deal. I won't write you this ticket if you'll quit riding a fucking bike. If you'll give me your word." And he did. And he said, "I sold my bike and never rode a bike again."
Saved his life.
Probably did. Because if you wreck at 187 miles an hour, there ain't going to be much left.
That police officer saved his life.
Yep, and he's a really nice guy and a good friend of mine, and I'm glad he's not riding a bike no more. What's a bike like that cost?
The Yamaha R1M, they only import 500 of them in, and there's 1,600 Yamaha dealerships in the United States, so not every dealership will have it, and about $25,000.
And they sold before they even get here usually?
Usually. There's a waiting list.
The guys that interest me are the guys that have those big handlebars that ride like way up here. I'm like, your hands have to go to sleep at some point. You can't ride like that for 8 hours.
Hey, those are interesting too.
You don't see them like you used to, Andy. When I in the
saw 'em in
70s,
Lubbock.
no, there's a few, but in the 70s, that wasn't that unusual to see choppers and stuff. Right. You don't see that very often.
That was a style back in the 70s.
Do what?
That's where they came.
In the 70s, that's how they came?
Yeah, with the ape hangers. That's how you were cool.
Ape hangers. That's right. I forgot about them called that. Have you ever? What's the movie with Peter Fonda in it where he's the outlaw, the biker?
Marlboro Man?
No. It's about you. So you've never seen Jane Fonda and it's Peter Fonda and I can't remember the chick that's in it.
Fonda? Easy Rider?
Easy Rider.
Or Ghost Rider?
Have you ever seen Easy Rider?
No.
That's a good movie. You need to watch that.
I don't have a whole lot of time to watch that. That's what sucks. Is there's a few good shows out there that I want to watch, and I don't have time. I don't have time. Plus, where would you find Easy Rider at, Jeff?
It's on my Netflix that you have an account for that you're still not paying for.
Oh,
that's what
I got Netflix on right now.
What are you watching?
What are you watching there? Was that Outlaw Jussie Wells?
No, that was 18. Help me out. 18.
Yeah, it's that spinoff of Yellowstone.
1883.
They filmed a lot of that here.
Boy, we finally got internet in the small town that I live in. Man, we ran off for years of DVDs and DVD players. And we finally got an opportunity. They shoot it to the co-op, and then they shoot it down the road to the house, and then we jump it from house to house. I have 2 houses side by side. And, man, we're in tall cotton now. We used to have to take a cell phone and ziplock a baggie to the front door window and put the phone in and hotspot it to watch the LSU games and the college football games during hunting season. I mean, my hunters used to bitch so bad at me. They used to go in town, 30, 35 miles away, rent 2 hotel rooms, order pizza, stop at the gas station, get beer, watch their football games, and then come back about 4 hours later.
Do you not have Starlink up there?
We did.
Do you have it now?
Really?
Well, now we got internet, and then everybody comes in and they're like, "Hey, Brad, do you got Paramount? Blah blah blah." And I was like, "No, the only thing we got is Netflix." And they're like, "Give me the remote," and they program it and give me their account free. Jeff, I bet you I got $700 a month free TV. I got YouTube TV. I got all the sports channels. I got every damn Hulu, freebie, da-da-da-da-da-da. There's some shit I don't even know. It's all free. All the hunters just, here, give me that remote. You're on my account. You're on my account now.
Yeah.
That's the way.
It's awesome.
That's awesome at all.
More TV than you'll ever get through.
We had shitty cell service here for our internet service forever, and then we got Starlink, and it works good most of the time. We're fortunate to have it, and that's the only reason we can do all the YouTube stuff. We couldn't do it before until we got it. So
well, it's just living in a small town.
Yeah, but I wouldn't trade it for all the fucking problems they have in the big cities.
Well, I tell you what, we don't lock our doors. Hell, I mean, I live in Shawnee, a couple hours away from here, and even if I run a block to Brahms, I lock my door. When I get out at Brahms, I have to lock my truck. When I'm at work, I lock my truck. When I was.
Well, the people.
Hell, we don't take the keys out of anything. I don't lock my back door. I've been here. I'm usually here on the weekends, but I've been out here for about a month and a half now. Door's never locked.
Yeah.
We for the people up north that listen to this, and a lot of people, they don't know what a Brahms is. Brahms is a ice cream place that sells milk, bread, food, and they have the best ice cream in the whole world, probably. I think it's better than Bluebell ice cream.
And they make a damn good burger.
Biscuits.
Not bad. Double cheeseburger.
They used to have biscuits and gravy used to be real good, too.
They still do.
They?
Yeah, that was a damn good breakfast.
I always go there during the holiday season, get the eggnog shake. That's about the time I'll go to Brahms.
I've never ever got that.
I like it, but I like eggnog too, though.
Me and Tony were in town the other day, and we stopped at Freddy's. Is that the steak? It's
Freddy's.
Yes,
yeah. Freddy.
Yes,
frozen
and they have steak or something.
Wichita Falls?
Yeah, Tony got a sandwich and stuff.
Yeah.
They have a pumpkin pie shake right now. Whew.
Good.
Oh, yeah, I got the smallest one they have, and I'm glad I did, but it was damn good. But
What'd you think of the French fries?
the what?
The French fries?
I didn't have nothing. All I had was just a little shake. I mean, it was a little one, but it was really, really good. Reminded me of the Culver's.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We stopped in there a couple days ago or a couple weeks ago, and we just got ice cream. But I had never been there before, and I was looking at the burgers, and the burgers look pretty good. They look like those thin, just kind of those patties that they mash down. I'll have to stop in there and get a burger.
Tony likes it. That's why we went. He got him a hamburger.
Oh, he did.
But I got the deal. But the ice cream, I'm telling you, that pumpkin pie. We got to go tomorrow to Wichita, so I may go there on the way home and grab another one. Those were good.
Making the list, Jeff. Making the list.
You got to find things in life that make you happy and enjoy it.
Food's the priority.
That's right.
Are you doing dove hunters, Brad?
Hey, man, we never really got the doves in this year. We went to the Southwest and with another guide opening day and just shot the piss out of them. But we just, our corn was late. Our early corn was late. We're just now starting to dig some peanuts. We've had no rain since the middle of July. We're coming off the wettest July in the history of Oklahoma to the hottest August in the history of Oklahoma. Everything's 2 weeks late. I just hope the frost is 2 weeks late. Or a couple of my Jap millet holes are not going to make it.
They're not only have dug our peanuts here, they're actually harvesting, combining some peanuts.
They've already sat long enough.
Yeah.
Well, hell, they're going to dry out fast. Fucking 2 days at 110.
Yeah, it was 95.
Yeah.
95 here. Hell, today and tomorrow in Oklahoma City is supposed to be, it's pushing the record since 1970, 77.
Yeah,
they said he'll be right there at like 96, 97.
Yeah, Damon Lane's a lying sack of shit. He got on there 10 days ago and he said, all the hot days are over for Oklahoma City, blah, 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 blah. And I followed Damon.
Yeah, it's only, 96 out there, fella.
It ain't that bad. It could be 115, guys. Only 96.
It was 107. It was 107 taking dove hunters out Saturday afternoon. Here.
Crazy. Kind of like Blazing Saddles. Dock him a day's pay.
That is a great show.
For sleeping on the job.
Kids today do not even know what that movie is. If you're young, you need to look up Blazing Saddles and watch it. Blazing Saddles and Hollywood Nights, every kid needs to watch in adolescence. Every one of them.
Animal House.
Yes.
I mean.
Porky's.
Porky's, yep. God, I forgot
Porky's
about that.
is one of my favorites.
They don't even make good comedies no more. Wedding Crashers was great. Step Brothers was great.
Everybody's too woke.
I don't understand because people would pay money to go see that and watch it. Don't you think?
In Animal House, the dude's banging she's in high school, isn't she? Gets her home drunk late.
That girl showed her tits in more than one movie. You know who else she was in another movie?
Well,
she was in Caddyshack.
I understand that, but still.
Oh, Lacey Underalls?
The chick that's in Animal House.
High school girl?
The girl that he pulls her top off and all the toilet paper comes out of her tits. Whose dad was the mayor there. She's the same chick that's in Caddyshack that plays the Hungarian waitress that works at the grill. That's Danny's girlfriend.
Danny's
yeah,
girlfriend.
I did not know that until today.
Doing it, you're good at.
I saw that today and on a deal, and I was like, son of a bitch. And Andy just brings that up. It's just weird how that works. But I just read that this morning, and I did not know that was the same girl. Her name was Sarah Hawcom or something, and she disappeared, and she's never ever. Nobody knows what happened to her.
Yes,
hey,
sir.
Andy,
yeah, he can see. I got you on TV behind, so he can see.
Hold on, let me show you what I wanted to hang this on my sign out front.
Let me see.
You read it? It says Bush.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, yeah.
What a great movie that was.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we got the Bushwood Country Club sign cut out.
They said Bill Murray ad-libbed in that movie more than he went by script.
Really?
When he played Carl, the golf course attendant, he ad-libbed so much stuff. And him and Chevy Chase were in a big fight then, and they weren't speaking.
They got in a fist fight.
Yeah.
They got in a
fist
fist fight, I think, in one of their trailers, and Bill Murray's brother, who is he's the guy in.
He's in Home Alone.
No, not Home Alone.
Christmas Vacation.
Yes, he's the boss in there. He's the one that broke him up, and then I think ever since then they didn't speak for a really long time.
I watched documentaries on that. They said they shot that entire movie in 5-7 days.
Which one? Caddyshack?
Yeah. And how Rodney Dangerfield, he was a really big stand-up comedian, and they do some scenes, and he was sweating, and he was like, Rodney, you're doing great. He's like, hey, Chevy, nobody's laughing. Nobody's laughing at my jokes. I'm bombing. And they're like, they can't, because we're filming the movie.
Right. They got to be quiet.
Quiet. He said, we're dying laughing inside, but we can't. And Rodney was really freaked out about it.
Really? I have not ever thought about how that might fuck with a comedian's head. Always delivering a punchline and hearing some laughter, and then you go onto a movie set and everybody in the background's got to be quiet.
Yeah. And he was scared to death that he was tanking.
Wow. He was really good in that show.
I mean, the making of Caddyshack, it's never been in any movies or anything. You just got to find it.
Mm-hmm.
They talk about how much drugs they did and how fast they made this movie in like 7 to 14 days, which was because they didn't have the budget to go run any longer.
Right.
You could make a movie like that and put all them stars together.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the blonde chick, Lacey, the granddaughter, or Ted Knight's niece
Lacey
or something. Woo, boy, she was a smoke show. It was a great movie. I think Harold Ramis done that movie who did Animal House and Stripes. I think he did Caddyshack also. Stripes was really good.
Yeah, Harold Ramis directed it.
Yeah, he done that. He done Animal House. He did something else too, Stripes and something else. But he was also in Stripes.
Did he do Ghostbusters? He was in Ghostbusters also.
He may have done. I don't know. I don't know that I've ever seen Ghostbusters.
It's good.
I really don't, because that wasn't my kind of movie, I don't think. But when I first got cable as a kid growing up, we had Blue Lagoon and Caddyshack. So I was either looking at titties or golf every night, because it was on all the time.
And they wonder why we were so fucked up.
I'm telling you right now. Brooke Shields in Blue Lagoon was responsible for more junior high boys taking long showers than anybody in the history of fucking maybe Farrah Fawcett during Charlie's Angels.
Man, Farrah was pretty hot back then,
she was a beautiful woman.
Harold Ramis wrote Animal House, Meatballs, Caddyshack, Stripes, Ghostbusters, Armed and Dangerous, Back to School, Caddyshack 2, Groundhog Day, Analyze This, that movie with Robert De Niro and the guy that's in City Slickers.
Yeah.
Billy Crystal?
Yeah, him. And he did all those. So he's written a lot of movies.
What was the one? Was it Old School? That was with Rodney Dangerfield also.
Old School?
What'd you say? Back to School. Back to School.
Yeah.
Back to School with diving.
Yep.
On the swim team.
Yep, that was a great show. When you have no class, call me. That's what he told the lady professor. When you have no class, give me a call. So, Brad, what are your thoughts on this? There's two things I want to bring up that I think is really admirable that you do. Oklahoma has an 8-bird limit, and you keep your customers at 6 or 5, right?
5.
5 birds.
Yes, sir.
And we talked about this the other day. And you're gonna get you get a little bit of feedback from your guys bitching, but majority of your guys that come hunt with you and shoot 5 birds at bitch come back and hunt with you every year, don't they?
The guys that bitch, they just move on. The normal guys that come in and come, I don't care if you're in Canada or, Michigan, Illinois, whatever. I mean, New York, to kill 5 Canadian geese a day, especially in December, January. And yes, they're little geese, but they're such big spins. And, our state limit's 8. My limit is 5. We clip 60 to 120 Canadian. We hunt in large groups of hunters, 16 to 20 every day, shoulder to shoulder. We get the big twist down and mow them down. And there's just no need to killing 8 birds.
Right.
I agree with you 100%. I think that's a perfect way to do things. You're self-regulating your stuff. I don't understand why the state of Oklahoma, because they set their limits. The feds give them boundaries to go by, and I think they can set them at whatever they want to.
Well, we can change that. I want to say, every 3, 5, 10 years? We can change it?
I think Texas is on a 3-year.
Huh?
I think Texas goes by a 3-year deal. I don't know that for sure.
But we've had a lot of, when we were at a 3-bird limit, we didn't have the hunting pressure in Oklahoma.
Right.
We didn't charge, we didn't have high leases. We didn't have a lot of competition. We didn't have, honestly, Jeff, there was some farmers that gave me a damn bounty. I would charge 10, 12, 15 goose hunters $65 a day when on a 3-bird limit, get 2, 3, 4 flocks in, kill our 3 birds, pick up the decoys, cut the heads off the birds, put them in a sack, run them on over to Joe, the farmer, and he'd be like, how many did you get? I'd like 75. He'd pay me $150 for shooting a damn thing.
Wow.
I need to do like that.
Now, Joe, the same farmer, 7 years ago that used to pay me, he's like, that. You got all these new people around here, and I know I got a lease, but these damn kids are offering $150 for a gun, to hunt my land. I'd be like, Joe, I got 6 or 8. I got 20 damn guns. I'm not paying $1.50.
Yeah.
I'll pay you 100, but I don't know now, Albeck. I said, maybe after I'm gone, these kids, they're going to be gone. Birds are still going to be here. Who are you going to pay then, Joe?
Right.
They're going to eat you out. About 3 days, they'll smoke 160 acres a week. turn it to dirt.
Yeah, we had back when we used to keep a lot of small geese here back in the early 90s to up to 2008. We have one wheat field that's 1,500 acres.
Yeah.
And there was one year that the feds were here and they were doing a bird count on it, and they counted and they said they figured there was 100,000 birds on that field. And I'm not fucking exaggerating one bit. That's what they said, 100,000 birds. It was 1,500 acres of solid geese. That field looked like a Walmart parking lot by middle of December. It was brown with white shit in it, and that was it. There wasn't a blade of green anywhere. But the funny thing is, that year the farmer cut dry land wheat, cut 40 bushel of the acre wheat. The geese do not pull the roots up. The cranes will. And I see wheat fields all the time that get wiped out by geese that they still get a good crop off of. They don't get any grazing off of it, for sure. And this was a cattle ranch, so they weren't real happy about losing 1,500 acres of wheat. And not only do they lose 1,500 acres, they have a 1,500 acre field, and they got two other fields that are over 1,000 acres. And you couldn't have put 4 cows on all 3 fields. There was nothing left to eat.
But you take these cows and you buy them cheap, and then you put them out there on wheat graze, and you make about, and then you put a round bale out there for them, and they graze all winter. It doesn't cost you other than a round bale, and you may lose a few with pneumonia, but then you sell them in the spring or put them in a pasture and fatten them up a little bit. You're going to get about $200 per cow. That's a lot of money on 1,500 acres.
Yeah, it is.
How many cattle he would have on that. And you go back, and instead of 40 bushels an acre, you can combine it and say get 20 bushels an acre. You're still farther ahead.
Yeah.
We haven't had cattle graze out here. I'm going to say in the last 10 years, maybe 2 out of 10 years, they've got to actually graze cattle like they used to. Now, it's because we've been in a dry cycle, and we haven't had the rain. Like this year right now, it's September 27th, 20th, it's almost October. I've seen 2 fields out here that are green and coming up, 2. And that's
Wheat?
it. 2 wheat fields that have already come up. But just now sowing wheat because we hadn't had the moisture for it. They're just now starting to sow wheat. And so if we get rain, but there's been years in the past that we've gotten, a lot of green wheat everywhere. Then you're fighting army worms because it get hot, and then you got army worms they got to spray for. So right now they're not spraying army worms, but we need to get some rain. And I think next week, and then next week, there's a bunch of rain chances really increase. And hopefully we'll get into a wet cycle where they can get their wheat up. But we damn sure need the rain. What are your thoughts on, my second thing is, Pintail number.
Hold on. When did you once they raised the limit to 8? Were you like, no, this is ridiculous? We're going to do 5, or was there ever a year that you dabbled with 8?
Yeah,
5 was it.
5. On good days we can have pretty heavy rainouts. On when you get the flocks right, half of them on the ground, the other half backpedaling at 20 yards, and kill them, and everybody comes up. Blah, 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 blah. And you can have some pretty big rainouts. And some days I can fill up a couple pickup beds full of dead geese when I get out of roll.
Right.
It happens. So, I'd shoot 5 to keep me in good standards, with myself and with the local game wardens and the feds.
Yeah.
I cut my hair down and, shoot limits. Oh, I got to shoot a limit. I ain't got to shoot no more limits, boys. But you do got to kill them every day.
That's right.
And you're only as good as your last goose.
That's right. And that's what a lot of people don't realize is, they're out here for 2 days, and it's a 3-month season for us.
I would rather have the reputation of killing them every single damn day than out of a 60-day season. Well, I shot limits 15 times. What the hell did you do the other 45 days? Take off? You didn't go out?
Yeah.
Well, no, I went out. And so you burnt all the 45 parties?
Yep. Yeah. No, that's exactly right. And if you're running, 16 to 20 guns a day, like who can bitch about shooting 100 birds?
And it's not the left side watching the right side. It's not the right side. It's you get them in the hole. They touch, they go, they hop. They congregate, they come on in, and then you kill them. Every now and then you get a younger men that kind of get up faster than us fatter guys, and they'll clip, 5, 6, and kind of game hog it, and I'll just get out of the blind or get out of my Rogers blind and go up and whisper in his ear and say, hey, man, I know you're at 5 or 6. Either you can slow down and stop shooting the candy birds on the jump and let these other guys start killing them. You can either watch it here or you can watch it from the truck. What do you want to do? Just slow down. Don't be a game hog. Everybody's paying the same amount of money.
Yeah.
I had a guy that was a bone crusher from Houston. What do you call them guys? Crack your back?
Oh, chiropractor.
A chiropractor. I had a bunch of chiropractors hunting with me. And this one old guy, he was a horse's ass. I mean, he really, really was. And he calls me. It's raining one day. This is a long time ago because I was guiding. He called me down there. Jeff, can I speak to you? And I walked down there to him. And I was like, yes, sir. He goes, hey, it's awful wet out here. Yeah, it's raining. He goes, do you think I can have your blanket you're under so I can have 2 of them? Because I'm really getting wet down here. No, I got to hide. That's for hiding. It's not to keep the fucking rain off of you. Well, yeah, you got a bib and a coat. Yeah, but I also need to hide. So I went back and sat down. Then he called me down there again. He said, hey, can you do me a favor? He wanted to sit on the end. He just knew damn well he wanted to be on the, it would have been the downwind side. That's where he wanted to be at. So he called me down there. I said, what? He goes, can you do me a favor? I go, what's that? He said, those birds are swinging right in front of me. Could you call the shot when they first get in front of me instead of letting them get down in front of the whole line? Well, fuck no, I'm not going to do that shit. It's for everybody, not just you. Seriously.
You're going to get them on the back. So when they come,
yeah,
they're going to blow back. You need to shut the back door, sir.
I'll tell you how big an asshole he was. His group left. He booked the trip. His group came in the office and they said, hey, do you have anything left in January? And I said, I got a couple of Tuesday and a Wednesday left. He said, we'll take it. I said, for the whole group of 12? No, we're not bringing him back. They hunted with me for 7 or 8 years after that, and I never saw him again with them. He called me like 3 years later and wanted to know about a date. I said, that's booked already. Well, I heard some of them doctor guys I was hunting with are coming those days. They are. Well, can you work me in with them? I said, that's between you and them. You need to talk to them. I'm not. They booked a hunt, and I've already got deposits, and that's all I can do. But he was that asshole, but only thought about himself.
You get that, every now and then. Hey, Jeff, are you still out in the field? Do you still hunt?
No, I'm going to hunt in Canada next week.
Look, Andy's like, yeah.
No, I don't.
If you see Jeff in the field, it's going to be a good one.
If I go hunt, it's candy day.
It's going to be quick.
But I don't have time to hunt because I scout every morning. So if I go hunt, now, yes, I scout.
What do you do in the afternoons? Like
I scout.
We get on the road.
Well, yeah, but I'm scouted. In the mornings, we know what we're doing 90% of the time for that afternoon. We scout as a group. I leave the field. If I go hunt, I leave the field in 30 to 45 minutes so I can be on the road looking around. I like to have everything prepared. Me hunting and getting to shoot birds is not as important as my clients being happy. And so I'm going to make sure my clients are a priority. So I don't hunt much. But if I do go hunt, it's a good one. I'm not going out there to run traffic, and I'm not going out there on a day that it might be. We're going to have some wind, and we're going to be on the cherry if I'm going on a hunt.
We must turn those big ass windmills that way to give you guys wind every day.
Well,
man, it'll either blow like a son of a bitch here, or it won't blow at all.
That's the way it is here too.
Yeah, it'll call. I take off 5 to 7 miles an hour of whatever they say the day is going to be. If it's going to be 15, if it's going to be 5 to 10, it's going to be fucking -2 by the time birds start flying.
Or it'll be a +10.
Yeah, we don't see too many of those days out here for whatever reason. The weatherman just fucks us all the time out here. Tells us it's going to be cold, wet, and it never happens. Tells us it's going to be windy, and then it doesn't happen. Or like you said, then you're chasing your decoys all over the place because it's blowing 40. Yeah.
Well, if they
he mentioned David Payne on Channel 9
I know who he is, yes, from Tornado Chasing.
And in the morning, we have a weather girl, Lacey Slopes. And she's smoking hot. She's married and has a family. And boy, I turn on the TV and guys will be coming in out the back door. Hey, where's my? And I'll be like, shh, shh,
Lacey's on, damn it.
Let him record.
I got to hear this. I got to hear what Lacey's got to say.
Oh, yeah.
You are blessed because you live with the best weather service there is anywhere. Oklahoma City's weather is the best weather in the United States.
But they don't know how to plow snow.
Well, they probably
on tornadoes. We get 2 inches of snow, it's crippled for a month here.
That part is exactly right. But they know how to, they're great, especially with severe weather.
Oh, they can track that Big Ten tornado block to block.
Yeah, they do a great job.
It's amazing. They do.
What were we going to ask them about pintails?
What's your thoughts on, they say it, from what I'm hearing is, and the pintail numbers rebounded a little bit this year, but if the pintail numbers don't pick up, they're going to cancel pintail season. What are your thoughts on if they took a 2-year hiatus on pintails?
I think they need to get more predator control and breeding ground. You know, Jeff, you've been in this long as I have, and it seems like our worst season, the duck numbers are down, it's our best season. And when the duck numbers are at record highs and you get all pumped up and everybody buys a hunt license, and it's just an up and down, you know, what they give us, and you sit at the end of the year go, there's nothing special about that. I think, you know, I never did a count for any birds. I don't think they take that much that seriously to say that the sky's falling on pintails.
Right.
Hopefully I'm wrong, but you know, it seems like in Oklahoma we're seeing more pintails than ever.
Yeah, we see a lot in Texas too.
Especially, you know, as soon as season's over, and they are a very wary bird during the season, and you give them 48 hours after the season, and you're still goose hunting out in the fields, there'll be a flock coming up out of the Gulf of 200 to 500 pintails, and they'll knock over the decoys. They'll just come in so hot and hit decoys and shake it off and look around, and you can see how stained up they are from being down there in the Gulf and in South Texas. And you go, where the hell were you guys, you know, a week ago?
Right.
I think that they push, and hell, during teal season, we were shooting, we only teal hunt twice. I mean, we don't have teal property. We don't flood for teal in Oklahoma. We get ready to flood in Thanksgiving for the big ducks. We catch a little pond or a watershed. They're here today, gone tomorrow, 25 to 100 of them. You know, you may drive on up and scout at 4 o'clock in the afternoon and go, oh, wow, teal. And they circle around 3-4 times, climb up to the ozone, and southbound and down. You're like, well, we had teal, you know. You know, and just scouting them, you know. But we had a group of 25 pintails come into us.
Really? During teal season?
And yes. And, I mean, you're going to laugh. Our teal hunt, we had 25 teal sitting down in my puddle. And we had weather coming in on a Wednesday, and a little rain. It's going to go from 105 down to 90 or 85. I thought, man, we'll get a push. We'll save those 25. You know, you got to have birds to draw birds. And I got all excited. Went back a week later, same 25. But got 4 or 5 of my buddies. I said, I don't know if they're coming in one group, but we have nothing to do on this weekend. Let's try it. We haven't killed any teal at all. They're so damn good with rice and gravy, plucked. And they come in 1s, 4s, 3s. We killed 15 out of the 25.
Really?
Well, I mean, we had, you know, we didn't shoot that well, but we had enough. You know, a single would come in, kill it, pop, 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 pop. Okay, we got that one.
I had a group of guys out a couple weeks ago, and there was a flock of 4 teal, and they were we were hunting a bigger piece of body of water, and the 3, like, they skirted us 100 yards. You know, they kind of knew I'm sure we'd already shot into them, but one fucking peels off from the 3, and he goes down the entire line, and that whole line of guys empty their guns at this one teal. Finally, on the very last shot of the guy on the very end, he pops that teal. And I was like, you know what? I bet that teal said to his buddies, like, hey, watch this. I'm going to go fuck with those guys. And he almost did it. He almost pulled it off, except for one guy in the end, a sharpshooter. But he almost went across like 8 guns and made it out. But they're fast little fuckers. Whenever they get those afterburners on, like they can be here and there, and you ain't have a shot.
Run the gauntlet, right?
And I don't even think they're one of the faster flying ducks.
They're fucking shifty.
It's because they're small.
Small and shifty.
Well, the canvas,
yeah,
fast.
A what?
Canvasback.
Yeah, canvasbacks. They fly 90 miles an hour, I think.
I've heard 75.
Okay,
but they're smoking.
they go. They fucking get after it. Ringnecks and bluebills, they fly fast too. I don't know what their speed is, but
I miss shooting divers in Michigan. I really do.
Now, is that where you got your start at? Was hunting in Michigan, where you grew up at?
Yeah, Adrian, Michigan.
Adrian, Michigan. Was it goose hunting, or was it a little bit of everything?
It was deer hunting, pheasant hunting, goose hunting. It was around out in the country. We lived in Lenawee County, just south of Jackson County, where Ted Nugent lives. Adrian's also known for 2 good call makers. George Lynch was out of Adrian, and Todd Sabota, that he was the founder of GK Calls.
Really? He was out of there too. I didn't know that.
Todd was.
And how far are you from Detroit?
45 minutes.
I can't imagine growing up in Michigan and moving to fucking Oklahoma or Texas. I just cannot, because every time I go up north, I'm thinking, what the fuck were my relatives thinking of for moving to freaking Texas? I really do. Beautiful.
It's called 30% unemployment.
No, I understand how that works. I do. That part I get. You grow up, you can have a garden and grow everything in the world. You get your seasons. You got running water. It's beautiful. The only side thing I think that's bad about living around fucking Detroit would be all the liberals. But other than that, what a beautiful place.
It is beautiful, and it's great fishing. I mean, the St. Clair is awesome, the Detroit River, Lake Erie, but the birds just don't go there anymore, the ducks and geese. Hell, I moved to Oklahoma to get a job, and with a pickup truck and a truck full of clothes. I didn't know if I was going to be here 2 weeks or 2 years. And 17, 18 years later, here I am.
Oklahoma City's a cool place. That's one of the few big cities in America. Here I am talking about, I don't know why I had to live in Oklahoma and Texas. If I had to pick a big city, a really big metropolitan area, Oklahoma City would be one of the top ones I could pick up that I would go to. Great place to be. I would not go to Tulsa.
It's still safe.
Yeah, Oklahoma City's a nice place. I've never been to Salt Lake City, but I assume Salt Lake City probably is a pretty nice place to live also.
I've never
I hadn't
been.
either, so.
So you came to Oklahoma looking for a job? Just jobs dried up in Michigan, and you were just searching, or what?
My sister, Leanne, lived in Edmond, and my mom and dad and my daughter and, my grandkids, my son-in-law that, were still there. And I was like, man, I really don't want to leave. I don't, but I mean, the housing market took a terrible plunge 20 years ago in Michigan. You could not buy a job. And if you did, you barely worked 40 hours a week in the factories. And then, we'd hunt on the weekends, do like goose hunts or push deer for, Dr. Mallow, Dr. Chellaney, or, just some dentist. And, we just, hunted and they threw you some money. But, like my buddy Jeff Emerson had a gear cutting company that he owned. And, he would entertain, 6 to 8 guys 3 times a year to go duck hunting with us and pay you $150, $200 per head, which was, when you were young, you're like, holy shit, that's a ton of money. And, then he started backing down. And Brad, business just ain't there. I can't entertain. So that got lost too. And finally, it's just, they had houses that were framed up and sitting in the weather and snow and stuff like that, incomplete for 2 years in Michigan. And I drove into Edmond, North Oklahoma City. They had the cranes. They were building skyscrapers. They had the American flags. And and everybody was like, boy, you talk funny. Where are you from? I was like, Michigan. Why'd you come down here? I was like, fucking recession?
Yeah.
What's that? What do you mean? And, you don't know how bad it is up there. I mean, it's terrible. If you had $100,000 house and your neighbor had $100,000 house and this neighbor had $100,000 house and they lost their jobs and the bank foreclosed on it, that $100,000 house made it $40,000. And then the neighbor next to you lost their jobs and their house. So your house in the middle that you still have a job is now worth $40,000. Right. The fucking recession, boys. They're like, shit.
And they didn't even know about it down here.
They did. Oklahoma's an oil gas state, and they just rolled right through it.
Yeah. So what year was that? That was what? Oh, late. 2003-ish or 2000 later?
It probably. I'm not 100% sure. Like I said, I've been here about 18 years.
How far is Flint, Michigan, from where you grew up at?
That's a shithole. It's bad. It's bad. It's in the Bay City area. Yeah, I didn't even go to Flint. I'd go to Detroit, out to eat and stuff like that, run around, but not Flint.
Did you ever go to 8 Mile when you went to Detroit?
No, I always hung out on the southwest side, Mexican town.
Did you?
Off of
okay.
By Tiger Stadium.
I've always wanted to know because Eminem made 8 Mile famous and all that other shit. I always wanted to know if it was as bad as what he portrayed it to be.
You think he made it sound worse than it really was? I think it was pretty much a pretty dangerous place.
Well, we had the Holy Redeemer, and that was a Catholic school, 3 stories. And back in the 90s, the students at the Catholic school were throwing the nuns out the windows in the trees.
Holy shit.
And then we had a Clark Park right south of the Ambassador Bridge. And on one weekend, and this is 90, 95, in that park, there was 24 shootings, non-gang related, in 24 hours.
Oh, my God.
Everybody has a gun. Everybody has a gun.
And it's some of the most strict gun control policies in North America.
No,
or in America.
That's Chicago.
Yeah.
That's Illinois is even worse. Chicago.
All it does is keep guns out of the people that are going to abide the law.
But, if everybody has a gun and you're running around and you're a punk ass kid, if you stepped on somebody's new tennis shoes, you look down, you said, I'm sorry, maybe.
Yeah.
Let me help you there.
Yeah, those kids, they have.
They had a gun.
Yeah. They have zero respect.
A dangerous society is a polite society.
I saw, I guess last night, some store at town, Lululemon's. Yeah. Some kid was doing a Facebook Live and they were stealing shit. Well, Little Nasty got his ass arrested. Little Nasty was crying in his mugshot. He was talking all kinds of shit on his Facebook Live, and everybody was running. They went into Lululemon's, and he come running out, and the cop fucking threw his ass in a little chokehold.
See, and that's interesting because Lululemon just they fired a bunch of employees for calling 911 that were getting their shop robbed.
That's the stupidest shit. I can't imagine being a stockholder in a company and the CEO is saying, whoa, don't call 911 if they rob. Just listen. You're stealing from your fucking stockholders. I know you're not on that side. It's just
telling you what happened. I'm just reporting the news.
A lot of shit. I think Best Buy is the same way.
Don't call the police.
They don't want you to intervene with someone shoplifting. Let me tell you something. If you take the old 2x4 theory and somebody walks out the door with some shit they don't pay for and you hit them in the head with that fucking 2x4, they're not going to come back and rob again. You hit 4 or 5 motherfuckers upside the head with a 2x4, word will get out on the street. They're not going to come to your store and steal from you. But when you say you can go steal there and they're not going to do nothing, you're just fucking inviting that shit in.
Yeah.
Well, I was watching the news. They said like Walmart is shutting down in some cities because it's 80% crime rate, and it's not even worth to have it.
No, yeah.
So they're moving stores out of it.
Every city had something in common. They all voted blue. It was San Francisco, Portland, Seattle, Chicago, Minneapolis, maybe. But I looked at every city, and every city's a blue city, of course. They've got zero bail, and they defund the cops and shit. But then the people are whining. The city of Chicago is going to try to get in the grocery business. Now, the people at Kroger and United and all these big grocery store people, those people obviously don't know what they're doing because they've closed their stores because they can't make a profit. But the city of Chicago is going to take taxpayers' dollars to open up grocery stores so they can get stolen and robbed. And it just don't make sense. I mean, fix the problem, get rid of the fucking crime. It's pretty simple. And I feel sorry for people. Yeah. I feel sorry for good people. And I'm sure you know some friends of yours still in the bigger cities that are trapped there that can't afford to move. Their houses are not worth shit. They can't sell them for nothing. And I feel sorry for those people because they can't even go to a market down the street to buy anything.
It's terrible. That's why I'm moving on west.
I saw where, speaking of Flint, Michigan a minute ago, the reason I asked you about that, the city of Flint, Michigan in 1982 was the most profitable city in the United States of America. I don't think profitable is a word, had the highest family income. And I think it was around $80,000 a year, which in 1980 to 82, that was a lot of money for a household, but it was all union jobs. Yeah. I think now the average income there is about $21,000.
Well, they moved everything out.
Nothing there. That's exactly right.
Yeah, 1980, 80s, Flint, Michigan was the richest city for young people.
Yep.
Yep.
And then it just shipped everything out. I think that the greater plan for all this is I think all these stores don't want to have brick and mortar facilities anymore. I think all of these places see those as money pits and they want to move everything online. You don't have to pay rent. You don't have to pay people to stock your shelves or check people out, which anymore you can't find a checker anyway. But I think the greater plan is Walmart just wants to be online only. Look at what Amazon's done. So,
do you think a store like I bought some underwear from Duluth Trading. They have great drawers. They do. Best seat covers in the business is Duluth. But Duluth has stores in the bigger cities. Do you think Duluth would be happy to have all their stores closed and everybody buy online? I've never been in a Duluth store.
I think they started out online. I think there might have been one store, maybe up north.
You think they would prefer to be all online too?
I don't. I mean, I'm not speaking for Duluth, but I think that if they had an opportunity to make close to the same amount of money and just do online. You got a warehouse. Stock your fucking bag and move on.
Oh, it's a better business plan. I agree with you on that. I really do. And that's the way people shop now. I buy more shit online because I don't like to shop. There ain't nothing about shopping. Even when I buy a fucking vehicle, I buy the last 3 vehicles I've bought over the fucking phone and on my cell phone and text messages. I didn't even go fucking drive or look at them.
And I bet they make more money because I bet they get people to buy it twice because when something doesn't fit, nobody wants to go through the hassle of fucking returning it. So they just order another one for $29.99. And
you're right.
Hey, I ordered a large. It should have been a medium. Well, fuck, I'm not going to send that motherfucker back. I'm just going to order another one.
It's my truth.
So I don't know. It's a weird time. So when did you start your outfit? Like you moved to Oklahoma, and I mean, did you see all the birds that were there and thought, hey, there's a marketplace here?
I was just happy to see them. I had 2 jobs when I first got here. I lived with my sister and brother-in-law and my nieces and nephews in Edmond, and I would get up and go to work for Oklahoma City Line Department, and I thought, man, this is awesome. I got a job with the city. You get a job with the city or county up north.
Yeah.
It's gravy. I mean, payday. And I come down here and they're like, yeah, $15 an hour. And we're going to put you in a hole full of sand. And, oh, by the way, we got to put the structure in because the sand was going to collapse and kill you. And then we might dig you out. And then I'd work from like 6 to 3 there. And then jump in my truck and then cut up around the west side of Oklahoma City, Well Springs Mall, and they had a Sportsman's Warehouse. And I didn't know anybody, so I might as well work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I applied there, and they hired me at the gun counter. And from like 4 to 9, 10 o'clock at night, that store was open. And then I'd just go 35 minutes, fall asleep, take a shower at my sister's house. And hell, I used to change my Oklahoma City clothes in the parking lot of Sportsman's Warehouse in my truck, peel off my old muddy blue jeans and that shirt and I had some wipes and wipe off the mud and going to work.
Sounds like a
And
Kenny
then,
Chesney song.
Yeah, well, might as well work.
That's
and,
right.
So and then I got talking to people, and they invited me, to go hunting, and it was just American dream, honestly.
Yeah.
Just takes a little bit more hard work, fellas.
Yeah, that's it. And it takes it's interesting because like you came here looking for a job and all you wanted to do was work, and like kids today don't have that mindset. Most of them, not all of them, but a vast majority of them. They just don't have that. And I don't know. I don't know if it's been too easy for too long, or what it is. But like you were in, like I gotta have a job. Like I gotta have something. And it was a state of desperation.
I'm saying I'm retired. I'm just slowing down a month or two. I left the Yamaha store. I would work from Tuesday at 9 to 6, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 9 to 3 Saturday. Jump in my truck in Shawnee, race 2 hours out here in the left lane doing 95 miles per hour, 2 hours. Come out to my western houses, my camp, start cooking some dinner, clean up, start the pumps to pump the water. I mean, I pumped 10 million gallons of freaking water off these lowlands. We had 7 inches of rain in July that just flooded the shit out of everything. Mm-hmm. And it was no time for it to dry up. Well, $2,500 Yamaha pump. $2,500 Honda pump, because Yamaha only had one pump. I bought that, so I had to get a Honda pump. Well, wait a minute. You can't throw a 4-inch hose over on your neighbors and flood his Bermuda or his pasture or his soybeans So then we had to run it to the river at one spot. 2,600 feet of 4-inch lay flat. $5,000 more. So I spent $10,000, and then you had to move it out, and I learned a lot. I learned that 1 inch of water on 1 acre is 30,000 gallons. Did you know that, Andy?
I did not know that. I got it now, though. I'm going to keep that.
Yamaha pump, 1 minute, will pump 550 gallons per minute. That's 10 55-gallon drums a minute. I mean, it's cooking. Yeah. So you had to push a pipe out. We had it on a pallet. Every 2 hours, you had to fill up that gas tank. You couldn't lose prime because it was a bitch to prime. Right. So I get out here at 6. We get the pumps running. Fill them up at 8, 10, midnight, 2, and run them all around the clock. I mean, the exhaust would be cherry red on them. Monday night, 10 o'clock, they'd, fill them up one last time, get some sleep. 5 o'clock in the morning, jump in, clean up the house, take out the garbage, jump in the truck, 2 hours back each to Shawnee. Take a shower, shave, change my clothes. Boys, I did that 15 straight years. Yeah. I think I deserved a couple months off.
Absolutely.
If I was retired right now, I would be trying to find me something to do, just like you do.
Oh, come on up. We got a shit ton.
Well, I'm not retired, but if I was, I used to, when I was younger, and I'd see that old man working in Walmart as a greeter or at Home Depot or something. I thought, boy, that'd fucking suck. You work, you retire, and then you're still having to work and shit. No, most of those guys are working because they enjoy working and being around people.
Oh, I'll be the same.
Yeah,
way.
I'm the same. Like I could do that.
I'll be on the tractor this spring, or just finding a job. Hell, I'll find something.
Yeah.
But I like to be around people, so I would much rather do something where I get to be around people every once in a while. But because if you retire and you go and you sit home in your house and your recliner,
you're fucking dead.
They're going to put you in a fucking ground pretty quick.
You're dead.
That's right.
You're dead.
You got to have something to do. Even our off seasons here, people are like, well, what do you do in the off season? Well, me and Andy do 3 podcasts a week. We got other stuff going on. So it's not like I don't do something all the time. I used to be a judge. I retired as that. So this is the first year I haven't had to do anything other than what I want to do in forever. Well, if we had, they had a dispatch job here for the county, and I thought that'd be a fun part-time job to have. I wouldn't mind doing that a couple of days a week. Problem is I got to
You'd
find
get
somebody.
fired. You'd be a smart ass on that 911.
Yeah,
I need help. Well, what do you need help for? I would pay money to hear your 911 phone calls.
The problem
and dispatch.
the problem is they don't want to work around my vacation schedules and shit I like to do. That's the problem I have. I wouldn't mind a job a couple of days a week if it worked out where I could say, well, this is the day I want to work 4 hours, and that day I'll work 12 hours.
Jeff's fucking nosy too, so he loves being in the know out here.
We'll get Matt Sullivan to come in on your vacation time.
Matt is a funny dude. Matt is one of the funniest people I've ever been around in my lifetime. I'm actually surprised Matt hasn't had his ass whooped more than he probably has. When Matt worked for me, I'll tell you a funny story. Matt worked for me one time, and I had a house in town where the guides lived, and Matt was there, and there was a Mexican girl that lived next door that was like 16 or 17 years old. And her boyfriend brung her home from a date, and he was kissing her in the front yard or something. And Matt hollered at him, "Hey, am I next?" Being a smartass. Well, this dude got all pissed off and stuff. Well, Matt had heard through the grapevine in town that this guy was a gang member. Well, we don't have no fucking gangs up here. But we told Matt that guy was looking for him. He came out here looking for him and shit. Matt slept in his bathtub because that's the only thing he thought that would be bulletproof. And then he moved to the fucking lodge. He moved out here because he was that scared.
Well, they're good boys. They just lived a gypsy life.
Oh, I'm telling you. Matt's great. Brian's great. Both work for me. Both great hunters. One of the funniest stories is they got in the lawn business together, and they were driving in the town they live in, and the trailer come unhooked on the fucking truck, and it went through someone's plate glass window in their front, their fucking trailer and four-wheelers in someone's living room.
No, I thought it was in somebody's business.
I thought it was a house.
No, I think it's
business.
I think it was somebody's business, and they had to go into the parking lot and get their lawnmower out of this person's fucking lobby, basically.
And of course, Brian blames it on Matt. Matt blames it on Brian. So
I've known those two boys. God, I think I was 16, 17 when I was hunting the local lake, and I was the local kid. And Sonny Jackson brought in, he used to work out of Knutson's Sporting Goods, guide service out there. And Knutson's, Jim Knutson and that used to give them all decoys. They were around a little refuge and the Glen Troltz Bird Sanctuary in Michigan, Manchester. And boy, you want to talk about the neck collars. And they had a road right down the middle of these two lakes. And Glen Troltz owned all the property around it and just thousands of big Canadian geese. And Sonny Jackson started this guide service and went to the calling contest in the 85-ish and recruited Brian and Matt Sullivan. That they were kids. Tim Grounds, Jeff Foils. I mean, and these Grounds had a call out. Foils didn't even have a call out at that time. Tabner, and just all these great goose calling gods. And they put them, we had two peninsulas about 150 yards apart on this residential lake. And that's how we got to meet everybody. Fred Zink. Hell, we've known Freddie Zink since even before he built a call too.
Is Knutson still in business?
Yes.
We were in North Dakota and they were there. You remember that? We were in a little cafe, and the Knutson's people were in there eating at the same time and talked to them for a long time. And I used to buy a lot of stuff from them years and years ago.
Yeah, they were probably 30 minutes from Adrian.
I used to buy a lot of stuff from them. I bought my first flag from them, matter of fact.
Man, they used to have a closeout, and I used to run around and hell, years passed, and rumors has it they were hunting early geese in September and had a guide, and they'd take 4 to 5 people. And, it was opening day, and it was a residential lake, but on the south end of this residential lake, it was still cropland, but they were building these lake houses to the north. And jet ski went by the decoys. And everybody used to run those giant floating 32-inch flambeaus, those sea serpents, and run about 3 dozen of them. And I mean, it's damn decoy stood about 36 inches off the water. It had a neck out like that. you know. And here comes this damn city person on a wave runner, and it rode by, was going to chase the geese, and you know they didn't know that they were hunting. And and it buzzed them once or buzzed him twice, and it wasn't at any close range. But one of the hunters got pissed off in their group that they were guiding, and peppered the wave runner.
Oh shit!
Didn't didn't kill him, didn't 911, but just peppered his ass. you know. So that was pretty much, and then Knudsen was like, Sonny, shit's done. No more. You ain't come, but they used to open up the store and sell shells. And if it was cold, the guides, Brian and Matt, they used to get a commission and be like, hey, mister, it's cold out here. You're going to be warm enough. Well, I think I am. No. Come here. You need this $200, the 4-in-1 old Columbia coats back then. Oh, sure. You need this $220 coat. I mean, we wear them. And I thought they got a commission. Well, how many? I got one box of shells, and it's a 2-bird limit. Oh, no. How many times a year you do this? Just once a year. You need 4 boxes and get these really expensive Winchester XX, copper-plated 3-inch 2s. And then after the hunt, the hunter's like, shit, I don't need these. And they used to clean house.
Just whole hustlers out there.
I can see Matt doing that shit for sure.
Just hustling.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God! I walked over one day, Jeff, and there they are. And you could walk around from point to point. It was 10, 15. Birds stopped flying. I was going to go to the truck when we walk out through the property that they had, and I'd pop my head in the blind and talk to them, and they were getting ready to go too, and they were like, "Hey, I was like, man, you got shot pretty good." And Brian and Matt would be sitting there and be like, yeah, they did. We're from Illinois. We're just trying to save up our money to buy a license. Sonny hasn't paid us yet. And, hey, Matt, do you still got that can of SpaghettiOs? God, I hope you didn't eat that last night because that's going to be yours and mine dinner tonight. And you felt bad. And hell, they walked out. And I had like $10, Jeff, in my pocket. And I said, here you go, man. And they're like, put your money away. We're just fucking milking them.
Yeah.
You guys do what? He's like, yeah, we're hustling for tips. And they pulled out a stack of $100 bills like this. I went, are you really? Fuck, we don't need your $10. We got a ton of money. Jesus. Yeah, we're just getting more on tips. And sure enough, picked up the decoys, and out come the $100 bills.
Matt was great with young people. Young guys, old guys didn't do worth a shit. I had a group of old guys up here. Matt would shoot a limit of birds with them, but they would get something would happen. They didn't get wired right with Matt. But Matt one time come in the office and he was chasing a guy down in the parking lot. Did you leave my tip with Jeff? Did you leave my tip with Jeff? And they just fucking drive on and go. But I'm gonna tell you what, the Sullivan boys were both very good hunters. Very, very good hunters.
They used to pull some shit years ago that just make you shake your head.
I would think Matt's barber shop would be a very fun place to go.
If it's ever open.
They should live feed out of that.
Yeah. I would go there every week.
How it's never open.
Yeah.
No, fuck no. Shop's
closed. Shop's closed.
Shop's closed.
It would be fun to go there though, because I bet like he could start telling stories and he could have those old men in there just fucking dying.
Because he's funny and he's personable and he's got a lot of stories. And he's still gonna send me some shit I ain't got, Matt, so send me my shit.
Have you noticed a drop off in the birds or anything, or is it still pretty well stable in your neck of the woods with all the added attention?
It's still pretty stable, I feel. You could have a million hunters here, but if it doesn't get cold up north, it don't matter.
Yeah.
I think last year we really got after them and clipped them pretty hard. Made the phones really ring. I still have some dates left, but I'm about 85% booked up.
That's me too. And I've talked to some other guys that run a bunch of people, and everybody's about the same. 75 to 80%. Everybody's got days open. The economy has got me concerned, and I think it does everybody else, and it's the cost of everything. And I think this is going to be one of those years you're going to have a lot of late bookings where a guy calls you Thanksgiving and wants to know if you got anything in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. I think it's going to be that kind of year.
My theory on this is that these poor clients have been burnt other places, and they're going to hold back on the reins and try to jump in when the iron's hot. Because, I mean, Jeff, I know you heard horror stories, and I hear horror stories, and God knows we're both not perfect. And, you know, we've had some horror stories with our customers, you know, on both of them. But I think that on the majority part, Oklahoma is just, I'm going to say it, turned into the new Arkansas.
Yeah, and Kansas is following next.
And everybody with 8 to 10 dozen decoys and something like this, and they think they're a guide. Mm-hmm. Hell, when I was growing up, I was just a hunter. I got my first clients through the game board.
Really?
Dr. Chris Mallow out of Blissfield called a local game board who wrote my father and I numerous tickets. And, you know, he said, well, is there any guides? I've just moved to Lenawee County. And Bruce Van Waren goes, no, there's no guides. And he goes, but I will tell you what, call George and Brad Albeck. They're about the best damn duck hunters in the Southeast Michigan. And he called up the house. He's like, hey, I want to hire you on Friday. You know, they're dentists. And I'll pay $50 to take us duck or goose hunting. And back then, man, you didn't tell people where you hunted.
Right.
You didn't have internet. You didn't have, you know, if you didn't know, you didn't know. And I told my dad, I was like, Dad, I got this dentist, Blissfield, that his 3 buddies want to pay us $200 to go hunt with us. But I was like, that's just trying to steal our spot. Da, 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 da. And I said, man, we can buy 3 more dozen like G&H Super Mags. Just taking them one day, or another dozen or 2 goose floaters. Mm-hmm. He's like, oh yeah, let's do it. So we went out, shot the piss out of the birds, and then it turned into every single Friday taking them out.
They came back.
Oh yeah.
It's a snowball business. Once you start getting clients, it just snowballs over and over and over again. But
yeah,
I've never. When I first got in the business, there was 2 guys in the Panhandle that guided. There was nobody in Lubbock that guided. There was guys that hunted out here that guided some, but I wouldn't really call very many of them guides. They were just paying for their own trips. And we were the first ones really to be a full-time outfitter out here. And Lubbock, hell, they didn't have nobody guide Lubbock out there until Webfoot went out there the first time to hunt with what's Brian's like Schreckenbach and them, and that was in Dusty Brown. Schreckenbach and Dusty Brown and Danny Odell were the first ones in Lubbock. There wasn't nobody else hunting out there at all. And now the Texas Panhandle, I bet between Lubbock and Amarillo, I bet legitimately there's 50 different outfits running out there. I see ads all the time, and I see these people liking on shit, and I'm like, I saw one today from a guy, and I'm like, have you even hunted? I want to ask that. Have you ever hunted with these guys ever before? You know, they got some pictures, and
it's their, you know, his buddies that that helps him guide, and his girlfriend, and he'll chime in and hunt with chicken fuckers, and then everybody's like, "Oh yeah, chicken fuckers," and then the girl will chime, "Chicken fuckers are the best,"
yes.
You know, and it just, and then they get 3 or 4 people, but if you start looking at that pattern,
are there a lot of road hunters? It might not be the right term. Well, yeah, it is. I mean, is there a lot of riffraff out there, like with geese and shit on the side of the road?
There's a lot of people that bump them.
There are.
You know, try to get them on their field. They use their dogs a lot, and you know, if you do catch them, they're cripple, and they run through 30, 40,000 geese, and they all take off flying fine. You're like, yeah, cripple my ass.
Yeah, that's the good thing about out here is we're everything out here is leased pretty much. So like we've done a good job of keeping. We've done a good job of keeping, a lot of the fly-by-night people out of here that would fuck with the geese.
Well, the fly-by-night people went to, you got your AA fields, you got your A fields, your B fields, your C fields, and then on out. Just like there, your AA through C, you may not hunt that C lease, but it's, if they feed it, and keep going north to south, and it's Christian church.
Yeah.
So they'll get on a D leash, and then they'll get pounding on doors, and then they'll pull that. Well, we'll give you $2,000 a day, mister, to hunt it. And then your farmer calls you up and goes, well, Jesus, you gonna take this money or not? And I was like, what do you mean? Well, they offered me $2,000 a day, and you only leased it for $10,000 for the year. And I was like, man, we could sure use money. And if I have something else to hunt, and I'll be like, Farmer Joe, go ahead, take their money.
Right.
I don't need it, but damn it, if I needed it, fuck no, you ain't getting it.
Yeah. And that's the thing is like,
I've already paid.
They're going to be here. You're only going to get that once or twice out of them. Like it's not a long-term, it's not a recurring thing. I'm here permanently.
Most of these outfitters are from out of state and they're young.
Yeah.
And when you put pen to paper and they're charging $450, they're giving $200 to the farmer. That means they got $250. They're driving around in their trucks. They're burning a $100 bill. They're only running 6 to 10 guides. They're hunters. And then they're renting somebody's places and lodging them at someone else's lodge and paying them $100, $125 for. And how you make any money?
Right. Yeah.
After all that shit, you ain't making no money. Only thing you're doing is fucking it up. And you know what, Jeff? I'm sure I got to say, I hope they buy the most expensive decoys and the biggest, shiniest trailer, because in 2 to 5 years, I'm going to buy it at 40 cents.
I'm going to get a hell of a deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of.
I got fucking trailer row. I got 7 16 to 24 foot trailers full of fucking decoys. Yeah.
40 cents on the dollar.
I got sheds full of decoys, but you know what? If I don't buy them, some other high school kid is.
Yeah.
And then if they're shrunk up, then he's going to have to buy new.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot of them guys are come and go all the time. I mean, you see it all the time. First of all, when you're 21 years old and you're not married and you don't have kids or anything, that's how I got in the business. I didn't have any responsibilities. But when you get to that pass where you've got responsibilities, like my guides, I know I'm going to keep a good young guide from 2 to 4 to 5 years usually. They're going to grow up. When I say grow up, I don't mean the ones I have now aren't grown up. They're just going to get responsibilities. They're going to get married. They're going to have to get a job with insurance and benefits. Yeah. And so they go. It's a tough gang to stay in this because it's hard to find a job where they're going to let you leave 3 or 4 months and go hunt.
Well, that was one of my deals, at Yamaha, but I'd start hunting Thanksgiving. I'd be at that dealership Wednesday night at 6 o'clock. There would be 20 people here. And I'd jump in my truck and out here and shit. I wouldn't get out here till 8 o'clock, and I'd have to depend on people scouting for me and lining shit up. And yeah. And then we'd take off, until like February 6th, 7th. And then the first Tuesday, I'd be right back to work. I didn't have vacations.
Yeah. You spent your vacations working.
And if you wanted to go someplace, well, you just took 2 months off. on vacation. Bullshit. I'm working 20 hours a day. Vacation.
Yeah, Michelle told me that today. We were talking about hours this morning. She goes, how many hours do you think we work a week during hunting season? And I said, 80 to 100 hours a week, easy. You know, I mean, it starts out, because I don't start out as early as you guys do. Tony starts out early. Andy starts out early. I don't have to go. I usually don't leave the house till 6:30 or 7 o'clock, but I don't get home till 9 o'clock at night. Well, that's 7 days a week. 13 hours a week, 13 hours a day at 7 days a week is 91 hours a week. That's pretty common. Michelle's the same way.
Only is Christmas, maybe Christmas Eve.
Yeah, well, we take off. We're better about that now. I take off the 23rd, the 24th, the 25th, and the 26th, and I'm not hunting anybody. I don't give a shit. And I have guys that call me every year that want to hunt. I had a guy last year got pissy with me because I wouldn't hunt on Christmas Day. I'm like, I ain't fucking hunting. Well, I thought you was in business to make money. I'm not hunting on Christmas. We're taking off. That's our family time. But we take off 4 or 5 days there. We never, ever hunt New Year's Day, and we don't hunt the 2nd. So if my guys want to go somewhere New Year's Eve, they're off the 1st. But that's well, we take off 3 days.
New Year's Eve party. We always have a big thing during the holidays.
Yeah, but we don't, and we take off Thanksgiving Day, and that's it. We don't ever have another day off. And I'm not going to take a day off because you got to make money when you can. But we do take off 4 days at Christmas, and I enjoy that break. And we always take the grandkids and our kids, and we go to the Metroplex, and we do something for a couple of days. But that's our thing. But that's our time because we don't get very much of it. But I always felt sorry for that guy that works by himself that doesn't have any help that's an outfitter. That's a tough deal to scout and hunt and do everything by yourself.
You get burnt out real quick.
Tough gig. Real tough gig.
I don't know how they do it.
Yeah, I don't either. I had a buddy of mine that tried it in northern Oklahoma, and he'd call me, and I felt so sorry for him, and I wish I could have helped because he's a good friend of mine. It would be dark, and he was like, shit, I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow, and blah, blah, blah. And he said, I hunted till noon. It rained. It was this, that. And I thought, man, that fucking sucks. You know, you're busting your ass because you're trying so hard, and just sometimes things don't go together. When you're by yourself, you don't have nobody else to lean on. Makes for a tough gig.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Well,
Brad, we appreciate you being on here, man. You've been a really fun guest. I'd like to get you on here again, middle of the hunting season, and talk about how things are going.
I would love to. Man, if we could get something going early or late.
Yeah.
You know, Thanksgiving until, like I said, you know, the last Sunday in January. But, you know, you never really know anybody until you hunt with them. And I would either like to go down there with you guys, or you guys come on up here to me. And, man, I think we could have some fun and shoot some birds and laugh and joke and get face to face and have fun.
We'll damn sure do that. You have a great day. God bless you. Do you want to tell anybody your website or anything?
Yeah, where can they get a hold of you at?
Best thing is Albeck's Adventures on Facebook, or my cell phone number is 405-443-8762.
All right, Brad, thank you.
You got the lessers, so want to hunt Oklahoma and get some lessers, you're the guy to call.
Call Brad. Brad, thank you. Thank you, my friend. You take care of yourself.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Be safe.
Bye-bye.
Boy,
Go get whatever that is out of that lady's yard.
Yeah. Well, he kills a lot of birds too. Yes. Really good bird. Give him a call if you want to shoot some small birds.
Yes, he does.
All right. Well, we are done for the week. We got a busy weekend. We got the Gold Star hunt this weekend coming up. Look forward to that.
New episode of First Family Waterfowl is out on YouTube. It's out right now. So go check it out. And I think we got one episode left. This one was number 11, and we got one more left.
And we are filming season 3. We will be filming again this week. We're going to be doing a really cool film. We're going to go to Wichita Falls and film at P2, and then we will be back.
That's
here
for On the Road with Boss, though.
All right. No, it's not.
Oh, it's not.
Mm-mm.
It's for
We're
First
gonna
Family.
take all this out. Yep.
Okay. Well, I can take it out.
All right. Thank y'all for listening to us. God bless y'all. Peace.
I wasn't ready. Ladies and gentlemen, go check out all of our wonderful sponsors. Go check out Boss Shot Show, Pacific Calls, Dive Bomb Industry, Dirty Duck Coffee, MLR Graphics, Shin Gear, Looking Glass Podcast, Lucky Duck, Ducks Unlimited, Double T British Kennels, Mossberg, Stanfield Outfitters, Alpha Outdoor Specialties, and Hill Farm.